And just like that, JJK Modulo Chapter 19 is out, and we have a lot to talk about. So the first act is the continuation of Deborah's battle with Mahoraga. This actually draws a similarity between Gojo versus Toji. Why? Because you can see that Deborah is actively learning and actively improving his course technique. But here is the craziest part. We can see that at the rate in which Deborah is going, there is no way he can defeat Mahoraga. And the truth about it is that Mahoraga has literally started adapting to his speed feat. We can see that as early as page 1 of chapter 19, the wheel is already spinning. That shows that Mahoraga is already adapting to Deborah's speed. Now, here is the thing that we have to talk about. Does this mean that Deborah is going to, in fact, create a new course technique? Because I feel that that is the only way he can end up defeating someone like Mahoraga. He has no other option than to use something new. And the current approach that he's using, which is the brute force approach, wouldn't work. We can see that the first time he did it against Mahoraga, even though Mahoraga was disintegrated into pieces, he literally just regenerated himself back together. And Deborah even acknowledged the fact that brute force is not the answer to taking out someone like Mahoraga. So my question for everyone is, does this mean that Deborah is in fact going to unlock a new course technique to complement his former one? We can look at it as a form of evolution. Does it mean that he's going to evolve his original technique? Because we have to take into consideration that he now knows reverse course technique and he has started to actually dig deeper into his own course technique. So this actually opens a lot of room for Deborah to grow as a character, and I'm really loving the way things are going. Because let's be honest with ourselves, Deborah literally just learned reverse course technique on the fly. Now, does this mean that he's the most talented person in JJK? I would say no, because as much as I would love to say that he's talented, we still have somebody like Iguruma, who not only learned reverse course technique in the same day, but also learned how to use domain amplification with his own domain expansion. That is next level talent. So generally, what am I saying? I'm really enjoying the way this thing is going. And truth be told, I feel that Deborah might actually be able to defeat Mahoraga if he evolves his course technique, because that means that Mahoraga will have to start adapting again, and this will give Deborah enough time to actually destroy Mahoraga once and for all. Now that we are done with the first part, let's move to the most interesting aspect of this chapter, and we have to talk about the introduction of Yuji. But before we talk about the introduction of Yuji, we have to first talk about why Yuji appeared in the building that he did in the first place. Now we can see that in that same building we have the humans and we have the Sumerians trying to stop one another, and we can see that eventually they do meet one another, and that's when we see Yuji. And let me just tell you what Yuji did, because I feel that a lot of people do not understand the complexity with the piercing blood that Yuji just did. Now, when Choso does the piercing blood, it's always in a straight direction. Choso does not have any way of actually bending or curving his piercing blood to any direction. He literally just fires in a straight direction and leads his hand to the direction that he wants. Now let's take someone like Narutoshi Kamo, who has the ability to curve whatever weapon he has coated in his blood. Now what Yuji essentially does is a combination of those two principles. He is literally able to curve the direction of his piercing blood. And as much as I would love to say that this is just pure talent from Yuji, I have another speculation in mind. I feel that the reason why Yuji is able to fire multiple piercing blood in just one go is because of the fact that he's able to tap into his different brothers' ability. And that is why he's able to do multiple piercing blood technique. Essentially what Yuji is doing is drawing on the abilities of his different brothers and combining it into a singular attack. Now the question is, who exactly was Yuji talking to? And from what I think that Yuji was actually interacting with his brothers, because we have to understand that it wasn't really stated if Yuji's brothers were gone when Yuji consumed all of them. So I have a feeling that Yuji is actually housing his brothers in him, and those were the people that he was actually having conversations with. Now I might be completely wrong, but that is what I feel. Another theory that I can think of is that the other person that Yuji was talking to is probably Sukuna. Now this is just a stretch, but I feel like if Gege wants to bring someone like Sukuna back, then there is actually a possibility that at the ending of the show, Sukuna really didn't go. Even though we saw him in the afterlife, a remnant of himself is still in Yuji, and that is the person that Yuji was communicating with. Now, the likelihood of that being possible is absolutely like 10 to 5%. I just wanted to keep it out there in case if something like that does happen. But generally, what do I feel about this chapter? One thing I can say is I extremely loved this chapter. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. And one thing I can say is that I love the fact that Yuji is finally in JJK Modulo. Generally, I really did enjoy this chapter and I want to see more of Yuji. So I know that the next chapter is definitely going to be a blast. Thank you very much for watching. Guys, I want to know your opinion. What did you think about this manga? What did you think about this chapter? Did you enjoy it? Did you have any complaints? I would love to hear your opinion down in the comment section. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I will definitely see you guys later.